Hi everyone, and welcome to our discussion of what investment options do we have in this crazy market, and how can you make 100% profit within 6 to 12 months.
So this is a quick disclaimer for everybody that I am not a professional investment advisor by no means. I am not a company that's trying to give you advanced investment advice. Pretty much, like everything that I say, I'm just trying to give my personal opinion of the market, just to give somebody like some thoughts and maybe share your thoughts as well. But I'm not going to be responsible for anything that you do take or any information that we discuss here today, and what you do about it in terms of going ahead and acting upon anything that we discuss in this meeting. So that being said, I just want to get a sense of everybody's expectations very quickly, just to make it very clear that the intention of this meeting is not to kind of teach everybody what is the stock market all about. And it's not like in half an hour or even many hours, we're not going to be able to cover how do you trade and how do you independently go ahead and look at a chart and be able to invest money on your own. That's not my intention right now. But my intention is to take advantage of the current situation in the market and to share an opportunity that presents itself, because we are in very crazy times, but with these crazy times that we're in comes a huge opportunity as well to make a lot of money. So so that being said, before I get started, I just want to also just get a sense of what it is that some of you folks are expecting to get out, just to make sure I clear expectation, and then we can get into some of the things that we want to talk about. So if you can share some of the things that you're expecting, that would be great.
Well, Rami, I have a big expectations that the US dollars will fall a lot, like for the worldwide, like in terms of the whole, like the US currency at all, like for all the compared to the other currencies.
Okay. So one thing you're saying is what's going to happen to the US dollar, for example, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other thoughts from you or anybody else?
Hey Rami, how's it going?
Good.
So I guess it would be a good idea just to understand like the rough idea of how the stock markets go, or just if you have any tips, if you use something in the past from your experience. We understand no, obviously you can't cover everything in here. It's a lot of learning curve to be covered like in a half an hour, even hours, as you said, but a little bit of tips. These are the kind of platforms that I use. These are the kind of things that I've done, the mistakes. I've done mistakes in these kind of stuff as well. So to where not everybody should fall if you're just starting, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think the biggest question for me would be a good platform to trade right now, because a lot of the platforms out there are having problems.
Okay. So I'm putting so far any tips on the stock market or any tips on trading or where to start. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, yeah. What's going on with the US dollar? Any tips on the stock market? Any tips on where to start trading?
Will you talk about the Dow and the SDOW?
Yes. Dow and SDOW. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Any other things that anybody else wanted to get out of this?
I guess like during this crazy time, what would be, where should we put our money in? If we have some money that we want to invest, where should we put it? Or an idea of like where should we, I guess, yeah, like high level. I know you can't just tell us, hey, put it here, put it there, but just a high level of what, like oil, finance, banks, technology, inverse ETF, things we talked about before. But
Okay, so that's actually another common question. So where's the best place to invest our money right now? Okay.
Yeah, and what's the best time to do it, you know?
When is the best time to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that being said, so let me get started very quickly.
Hi, Rami.
Hey. Sorry, who was saying hi? I missed it. Oh, Ramon. Hey, man.
No expectations. I'm just listening. Just here to listen.
The fun has just begun. So in terms of what's going to happen to the US dollar, that's a big topic that we're probably going to leave to a different time, if that's okay, Peter, and we can discuss
Yeah,
it later on. Any tips on the stock market? Yes, I'm going to try to give what I think is happening right now in general, and how can the most basic investor or somebody who doesn't know anything make money. That's actually the whole purpose of this. It is not for people who know what's happening. If you know what's happening, kind of, we talk about it so we can get a sense of, we always have a chance to learn from each other. But it's how does somebody who doesn't know anything, benefit from this, or at least get a sense of what's going on, right? Any tips on where to start trading? One of the things I recommend is learning technical analysis. I don't know Trump said what today. I don't know who did what, who called who bought which company, right? All of that is reflected in the chart. If you're able to read a chart, the chart is like where everybody puts their, put your money where your mouth is. So the chart is actually a complete reflection of what is actually happening. Who bought what and when? Like today, somebody can come out and tell you, oh, this is the best thing ever. Hey, you should, you should invest in this company, but they're not investing in it. If they're investing in it, it would be reflected in the chart. So where is a good place to start? I will recommend a technical analysis book. I'll try to find it. It's called, I can't remember what it's called, but in my mind, it's the Technical Analysis Bible. I'll try to find it and share it with anybody who's interested. But that's where I think you should first start, is how do you read a chart? And there are many, many platforms where you can practice on for free. That would be the best way to begin getting a sense of, learning how to trade. We're going to talk about the Dow and the SDOW because kind of that's the main direction I want to share with everybody in terms of summarizing what's happening in the market. And that's exactly where I'm going to be asking, telling people where they should put their money, because it's a little bit too complicated to tell everybody to put it anywhere else. So that's kind of the simplest possible way that I'm thinking everybody can make money, and not just make money. What I'm proposing here is for people to make almost 100% profit within the next, 6 months to a year. So that being said, I'm not sure if many of you got a chance to see this video I put up in early December 6th to be exact. At the time, I was trying to catch the top of the market, so I started shorting the Dow around 28,000, 145 and 252. And as it kept going up, I kept shorting it. I kept adding more to my position. And I was telling everybody, well, how do you make money from this? Well, go ahead and buy the inverse ETF of the Dow. I'll get into what does that mean. And consider it an early Christmas gift from me. So whoever was actually able to buy this made a crazy amount of money over the past month or so. Thank you, Mike. Mike actually just posted in the chat. The book is called Technical Analysis, Financial Markets, and that's actually the link. So I think that's available. Does everybody get to see the chat? So I think it's to everyone. So that's the book that I swear by, and that's the book that's the only book that taught me everything I know. Someone's asking, what does it mean to short? Okay, to short means it's to actually make money on the way down. So I know sometimes I might say some complicated terms. I'll try to avoid that. But in terms of where we are, I kind of said the market is going up, 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 up. That's the Dow. What is the Dow? So in this video, which I strongly recommend that everybody check out, I'll try to post it in the chat as well. The Dow is kind of the biggest companies in the US, let's say, put together into one basket. So in these companies, as they go up, so for example, I think I have it here. What is the Dow? So yeah, so the Dow, for example, is, you know, it has companies like Apple, you know, American Express, Boeing, Cisco, Coca-Cola, Home Depot, IBM, Intel, like Microsoft, Nike, Pfizer, all the biggest companies they have. So that's what we're talking about is the Dow. So the Dow, as it kept going up, 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 what I was saying is, hey, it's gonna hit up market top, and we're about to begin almost like a 3-year cycle of on the way down. We've been going up for 12 years, and things typically go down faster than they go up. So we're anticipating, so what I was trying to say is, hey, we're about to go down. I didn't know, there was no Corona in December 6th. There was, you know, not have no idea why, but based on some economical reasons and based on technical reasons, I anticipated to go down. So, and what actually did happen was, as everybody can imagine, this is like in November, it kept going up. Oops, I should probably minimize this. It kept going up, 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 and as everybody knows, somewhere around in February, it started making this massive drop and kept going.
I mean, what's the program you're using?
This is called MetaTrader. So as it went down, and then later on it went up again. So what was I suggesting for people to buy? And that's what I wanted to kind of suggest to everybody is there's a way, typically, when a regular person is trying to get into the market, they only have access to tools like, I get to buy something, I get to buy it low, and then trying to sell it high. That's the typical way you can make money. Buy it when the price is low and sell it as it goes up. But then somebody asked earlier, well, how do you short? Well, there are ways to make money while something goes down. So now, what do we do? Like, it's at the top of the market. What do I do? How do I make sure, hey, it's about to go down, how do I make money? So one way to do that was, or still is actually, is something called the SDOW. So SDOW is, there's this thing, it's called an ETF, which stands for Exchange Traded Fund. And if I actually take this and put it right beside the Dow, so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So this is a chart of the Dow on the right-hand side. So let's say if we take a look from 2016, it kept going up, 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 up. And then there's this thing, it's called SDOW, which is, it's called SDOW. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get everybody to maybe say, hey, if you want to make money while something is going down, then you buy this SDOW. And as you can see, what it is, it's the exact inverse of the Dow. So as the Dow was going up over the past 3 years or 4 years, this SDOW kept going down. So in 2016, it was like $315, 300 bucks here. Those two humps right there represent these two lows right here in the Dow. And as the Dow kept going up, 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 and the Dow got to like 29,000 and change, this SDOW got as low as 34 or actually got as low as 33 something in January, and I think in, yeah, somewhere like between January and February. So what does that mean? If we anticipated this drop, then had somebody bought here at, let's say, 34, 35, then what happened as this drop happened over here? So now this is the 5-year, just to compare, just to show that if I want to buy the Dow, this goes up. But if I believe that the Dow is going down, then I should buy something called SDOW. Do we have any questions on just this part right now?
Is there any other ones other than the Dow that you would watch out like this way?
There's S&P, or there's or something called the DAX, which is the German index. So ideally right now, I'm trying to do something with the indices, right? When you get into gold and oil and silver and all that stuff, it becomes very tricky, right? So my main concern is I'm trying to make sure it's something very simple for the average person to benefit. How do you know the top of the market? Okay, and SDA, would you buy now? So basically, if I'm just gonna zoom in for a bit here, let's say we go into 1 month or 6 months. So SDAO, what I recommended in December to everybody is buy the SDAO. So had you bought somewhere here, let's say in January it was 40 bucks, it got as low as 30, like 33 here, 33.93 in February. So had you if you were able to buy here somewhere around 35, 34, 40, over this drop, while the market dropped in February, in here you did more than double your money. It went as high as 90, what is it? Here, it's like the top here is like about 90 bucks. So if you were able to buy even at 35, 36, 40, you would have been able to double your money as it went to about $90. So that's the exact opportunity of how someone, while the entire world is losing money by watching all their savings, lose all their money, some people are able to now make money, and not just some money. I'm talking about 100% profit by buying here and selling here. 100% profit. And that's exactly what is right now when everybody says, okay, so is there an opportunity for me to make money right now? Yes, there is, because guess what happened? As the stock market, so now if we look closer in the past month, in both, as the stock market started to go up over the past couple of weeks, guess what? The Dow started to go down. And what does that mean? Now we have another opportunity to buy the SDOW and also, once again, have the potential for doubling our money. Personally, I'm looking at the Dow itself. I'm hoping the Dow would reach somewhere, like right now, as of today, it's 22,600. I'm hoping for another, it's Monday. I'm thinking it's going to be a positive week, hopefully. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a few more pushes up and we're going to get closer to this high over here. Once we get closer to 25,000, I'm trying to see this will be the best time to buy SDOW. So maybe somewhere around, let's say 38, 39. Any questions at this point?
So Rami, you mean that the SDOW, it's an ETF that shorting the Dow, right?
Yes, and for everybody else, it's an ETF. It's another way, to put it in the simplest terms, it's another way you can make money. When Peter says shorting, you can make money when you think the market is going down. Oh, and somebody here is asking, do you think the market will go down again? Very, very good question. But sorry, Peter, you had another comment or question?
No, Habibi, thank you. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, I do think the market is going to go down again. Right now, I think we're in this fake up move that makes us all feel like, oh, everybody's printing money like it's monopoly and life is good and everything's back to normal. It's not back to normal. We are in the worst possible situation economically we have ever been. Here's actually something that I found earlier and I thought it was pretty interesting. Let me show you this. This is an example of the weekly initial jobless claims. So like how many people file for unemployment in the US over the years. So check out, hold on, let me zoom this out. Check out this chart over the years, okay? This is from 1967, 70, 75, 1980. So this is unemployment over the years, 2000, 2010, and look what happened right now. So if you think, if you're saying, asking me, do I think the market is gonna go down again? Of course, I think the market is gonna drop like crazy again.
Yet somehow the day the number of jobs was posted, the market went up, which is really weird.
Yeah, because it's all about expectations and everybody's trying to make the world feel like we're in control, we're helping everybody. So there's lots of reasons why things are gonna go down. However, one general rule is nothing ever drops once. We are gonna come back to this level that we saw in the Dow of 18,000 and potentially break it. In theory, if you wanna know what I think is happening, if we go max, this is the Dow from 1985 all the way till right now. Let me expand that a bit. Let me see other questions quickly. 15K. Yes. Where do you think the new bottom will be? 18,000? So I think the bottom is eventually going to hit around like 14,000, 15,000. We're going to go back to pretty much the top before it dropped in 2007. So that's where I anticipate at least where we need to go down to. And we're so far away from that. So what happens now, this is an unbelievable opportunity. Like I'm talking, you know, you have the chance to make 100% of your money. So right now, as this Dow, for example, for the rest of the week, maybe the next week, goes up and makes another 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points, as Dow is gonna go down, maybe 38, 39, if we buy right there, you have the potential to sell this at 40. Let's say if you bought today, or if you buy maybe tomorrow, it's probably gonna hit 40 tomorrow. It hit as low as 40.32 today. That's just today. So oh no, that's over the here. Today, yes, today it did hit 40.32. So if you buy this at 40, potentially be able to sell it at 100, that's 150% profit. And there's no trading. Like personally, I trade every day. I sell and buy stuff every day. I buy something, I get in and out of it maybe within a few days. But what I'm proposing here is for the average investor, while the entire world is going to watch this number of the Dow go from 22,000 or 24,000 while this entire world is going to watch the Dow go from 22,000 or 25,000 all the way down to maybe 15,000, they're going to lose like maybe 60-70% of the money they ever invested. I'm presenting you with an opportunity to go and make 150% of the money you can want to invest. So in terms of a tip, that's kind of, I wanted to make it simple. Like, I'm not here to talk about oil, gold. Everybody's like, Rami, what are you doing? Like, we want all this stuff. What do you think of marijuana stocks? What do you think of this? What do you think of, all these different things? There is I can't think of one good stock that's going to be able to make money over the next few years. The best stocks are still going to go down just because the entire market is going down. So one way of doing this is don't invest. Pull your money aside. So right now, if you don't even want to do anything, think about, as we go up right now, this is another opportunity for you to get out. We got as low as 18,000 and change. If we go up to maybe, I don't know, if we go and hit, let's say 25,000, 26,000, that's a huge up move because we had a massive down move. So this whole down move here, this is a 12,000 point drop. If we get up to maybe like half of it, this is a good time in case you were like watching your retirement portfolio lose tons of money. It's a good time to maybe close some stuff. Or if you were holding on some stocks and you were happy and you made some money and then you just watched half of your gains disappear over the past month, this is really a good time. We have a huge opportunity for you to lock in those gains because you're not going to see those gains again. In fact, it's going to get lower and lower and lower. But like I said, does that mean there is no way to make money? Yes, there is a way to make money. And it's the easiest way I could think of for somebody who doesn't want to think too much is to buy this ETF called SDOW. So how do we know when to actually sell the SDOW? So let's say we do get in right now. That's a very good question. Let's say we buy it right now at 40. When do we sell? Well, how about you sell at 80? Just to be, safe side if you want. Guess what? It went to 90. I guarantee you it's going to go back to 80. That's 100,000% sure. From 40 to 80, you're going to make 100%, while I guarantee you not another human soul is making 100% on anything. They're not even making 50% on anything. But personally, I think this is going to go to 100. And that's what I'm personally going to do. I'm going to buy this probably somewhere around 37, 38, 39. I'm going to start getting in at 39, maybe. And as it goes lower, I'm going to buy more. As it goes lower, I'm going to buy more. And then watch it go to 100. Any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself, by the way. I just muted because some folks were not paying attention and there was a lot of noise. Where can I find ETFs? What does that mean, ETFs? Can you please elaborate?
I think he just means ETFs.
Oh, ETFs? Where can you find that? That's something that you can buy in your, let's say if you're in a self-directed RRSP account, or if you open a TFSA, or if you open like a regular trading account with any banks. So one of the things I'm suggesting to a lot of people is I'm using Questrade because they have the lowest fees. If anybody wants to join Questrade, let me know personally. I can help you get set up. I have no shares in Questrade. I don't benefit from this company in any other way. I bought it for myself, my parents, everybody in my family. I set up myself with Questrade just because they have the lowest fees. And when it comes to buying ETFs, they actually have zero fees. So you can't get lower than not paying anything. Zero fees for buying ETFs with Questrade. That's if you live in Canada. If you're on this call and you live in any other country in the world, reach out to me personally and I'll try to help you out as much as I can. Any other questions, comments, thoughts?
Yeah, Rami, when you're talking about the chart on the left,
yeah,
why are the dollar values like they fluctuate a lot more than the Dow on the right?
Oh, sorry, because I had this, like, now I had them in 2 different time frames. So here, this is now, both of them are in the same time frame.
But so even the dollar value. So you know how you say you lost 50% of your value, you would have lost $40.
Oh, why is it not 1-to-1, right?
Correct.
Because this SDOW is like, there's a mathematical formula where it's relative to the Dow. So there's something where there's like, you know, it drops by a certain amount and it goes up by a certain amount. There's something behind the background that I'm not sure exactly what is the mathematical formula that does the mapping. But SDOW, if you think about it, is a derivative of the Dow. Dow is the source. It's the actual thing that everybody else is buying and selling. SDOW is kind of like just kind of like a derivative of it. It's another way you can indirectly buy it or sell it. So right now, we are indirectly selling the Dow by buying this thing called SDOW.
Okay, so the percentage fluctuation basically is supposed to mimic each other.
Slightly, but not that much. So for example, just to give you a sense, as I shorted here, right? And personally, because I'm buying the actual Dow, I made 10 times more money. 10 times my profit. While if I bought here, I went up 1.5. You see what I'm saying? However, the Dow, when it goes up against me, I also lose. It's a double-edged sword. So the same way I can make a lot more money, as it goes up slightly, I can lose a lot more money. So that's why I'm suggesting this as Dow, because it's a lot safer. As it moves, you don't get to lose as much, but what I'm trying to suggest here is a huge opportunity, because making 150% profit is not a small amount. Especially over, and somebody asked earlier about the time frame. What I'm pretty much saying is, if you do buy this SDOW over the next week or two, I think somewhere in the next 6 months to a year, that's when you should be able to realize this huge profit. Would you short any other indices? Yes, I would. I would do the same with everything else, but I find this one to be the most profitable one. Would I suggest taking out my money from mutual funds? Yes, I do. Personally, that's what I'm doing with my pensions. I am taking out my money, and because in my pension account, I don't have the option to invest it in anything else. So I'm putting it in something called like a GIC, something so that I can make, it's a guaranteed fund where I will make 1%. I would rather make 1% than lose 50%. So yes, I suggest if you're in a mutual fund over the next week, I think this is a really good time to close it. If you watch the Dow and you just type Dow in Google, see the Dow probably going to reach 25,000. This is a good time to close your mutual funds and turn it into cash, or turn it into the most safest possible guaranteed investments. Explain this again, the movement in the Dow. It's leveraged 3 times. Yes. Sorry, Mina, can you ask the question? What do you mean?
You were saying when you went down with the Dow, you made 10 times the profit, although there was supposed to be a loss. So I didn't understand that point.
Oh, because when I make money on its way down. So when I'm actually trading the Dow itself, I have the ability to buy. So it goes up, I make money. Or if I do something called short, I will make money as it goes down. And personally, when I'm trading the Dow itself, it's much more margined, means it's like as it moves slightly, I can make a lot more money in either direction. So I'm taking a lot more risk. So just that's why, because earlier somebody was saying it's not one-to-one. I'm saying it's not one-to-one for sure, because this move for me represented 10 times my money, while this move, so this down move here, made me 10 times my money. This up move here, going from 34 to 90, is about, what is that, like 150%? Something like that.
So that's why I'm trying to understand what is the difference in trading the Dow versus trading the SDOW? Why you can make money with the fluctuation there, and it's 3 times if there's marginals, if there's shortening. I'm trying to grasp that kind of piece. What's the difference between the normal Dow trading versus a normal stock, which is technically an SDOW trading with US dollars and normal figures? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Dow itself is so much more riskier, and you need more money in your account, and it's a lot more complicated, and this is what takes a lot more time to figure out, right? But because that's not going to happen in a week for most people on the call, or a lot of people are saying, Rami, what should I do? What should I do? That's what I'm saying. The easiest thing to do is buy this as Dow. And hey, what's wrong with 100% profit? Can anybody else tell me where else they can invest their money and make 100% profit over the next 6 months to a year? And that's what I'm trying to say. The easiest way and the most possible profit is available right here at your fingertips for everybody.
Rami?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're looking at potentially 100 or 150% profit by shorting the SDOW or by shorting the Dow. What gives you the indication that it's going to reach a level where you're going to make 100% or 150%?
So basically I'm trying to say buy the Dow right now at, let's say 40. Sorry, buy this as Dow at 40.
Yeah.
And wait till it reaches, let's say 100.
What gives you the indication it's going to get there?
Exactly. The indication is based on technical analysis. Let's say there's nothing just bottoms once or tops once. That's just basic technical analysis. So you see this top over here? Never in the history of the market did anything just did a top and then just drop. There's at least a double top, at least. So in the short term, as we're dropping, we should at least come back up and retest this number. So personally, I think we're going to break it. That's based on like some other information. But just to be safe, what I'm trying to say is that if you buy at 40 and close at 80, which is like around here, that's your 100% profit.
So your indication is that we've tested, we're going to test again.
Yeah, and you'll hear that. Just hear it from Bloomberg, and you'll hear that from anybody. Anybody will tell you this is kind of like a bear market rally. What does that mean? It means in a big down market, we're having a small up move. Means it's temporary. And everybody anticipates that we're going to have another down drop, and we're not sure how far it's going to go down.
We're going to retest the lows.
At least we're going to come back and test those lows, which means we're going to come back and test that high over here. Does that help?
Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
So Rami, I was wondering if you recommend any similar ETF, inverse ETF on the TSX side. Reason is for currency conversion. I think when you convert like between Canadian and US and back from US to Canadian, you lose some money there unless there's a way that you want to share where you don't lose as much money in the conversion.
No, you're right. You do lose money.
Yeah. So is there like I looked into the HXD? It's on the it's an inverse ETF on the TSX side. But I don't know if you're aware of anything or something you recommend on the TSX side.
Yes, actually, I'm looking it up right now. It's, I think, the S&P.
Yeah,
Sorry, what did you say? It's
HXD.
Yeah, I think so. Was it like around 14 or 15 or something recently?
Yeah, right now it's like 20. Yeah.
HXD
ETF, yeah. If you Google HXD ETF, you will get it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so this. Yeah, so I think this is a good one too. And I think this one doesn't, this is a Canadian one, so you won't lose on the conversion. So let's say this one, let's take an example. If somebody bought at the absolute low, let's say here they bought at the low 16 and the highest they got to was 32. So they doubled their money. Okay, so the market is going to crash again. In your opinion, when should we expect to hit that second low? And when will we see the market stabilize? So someone was asking, it is fair to think that the market is going to crash again. So when do I think we're going to hit that second low? Initially, when I suggested to folks that the market is going to crash, I thought it's going to crash over 6 months to a year. I did not anticipate it happening in 1 month, right? This is the most insane drop of all time, as you probably heard a million times. So once again, I'm not going to anticipate that it's going to drop like this again, because the whole world is in recovery mode. The whole world is doing everything they can. However, there's going to be a ripple effect to everything that's taking place in the market right now. There's going to be a ripple effect to so many people on unemployment. Yes, all the governments are printing money and helping people, but as this happens, what's going to happen? Is everybody going to spend the same? Nothing is going to be open for another 3 months or so. What does that mean? What does that mean to all the stocks? What does that mean to, there is so much anticipation and calculation and everybody's trying to plan models, and everything is such a huge guessing game right now. And that's at the time when the world was already living in a very, how should I say? The way I explained it to everybody was like, let's say we ask an average, I don't know, engineer, pharmacist, teacher, whatever profession that you can think of. How much money did this person make in the year 2000 when they first graduated? Or let's say if you're not sure, how much money did they make in the year 2010? Chances are, if let's say somebody made $50,000 as a salary, let's say a starting engineer in the year 2000, and right now, 20 years later, that engineer's right now starting salary is, let's say, 80,000 or 90,000, which is, no, it's not happening. It's 80, not even 80. So this person's salary went up by what, 60% in 20 years. However, that person back in the year 2000 with $80,000, they were 10 times richer. A condo was like 120,000. The same condo that's right now 600 and 700,000. Everything is so much more expensive, whether it's real estate, whether it's, just everything that you can think of is so much more expensive. So with all what's happening right now, we are already have been living on a house of cards for so many years. And then we got hit by not just some air, by the biggest storm ever. So we're not in a good position, and we're definitely going to go back to the lows. How far is it? When is it going to happen? Might happen, I'm guessing, 6 months to a year. We might hit a second low, and then it's going to go up again, and we might hit a third low. I'm not sure, but that's a lot of guessing, and I don't want to confuse anybody. I just wanted to say that there are opportunities to make money, and if you do if you do have mutual funds right now and you're scared and you're worried and you're upset that you watched, you know, all your earnings and savings like get washed off in like 3 weeks, we are close to an opportunity for you to minimize those losses over the next week or two. Let me get back to the chat. But if you want to unmute and ask any questions, feel free. HXD is equivalent to SDOW. That is not true. HXD is something else similar to it, but it's not the same. But it's kind of the same idea. It's indirectly, what is that? It's kind of like, is that indirectly buying against
Like
the TSX?
the S&P.
The S&P, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the SDOW went up, let's say 1.5 times between the lowest to the highest. The this one here, HXD, it pretty much doubled. It went up 100%, while the SDOW went up 150%, let's say. So SDOW gives you more profit, but as mentioned earlier, with this HXD, if you buy that ETF, you don't have to lose money on the conversion because you're going to lose a little bit of money. But in my humble opinion, the little percentage that you're going to lose on the conversion is nothing compared to the amount of money that you will make more with the SDOW. Are you guys finding this helpful, or am I like talking like a different language here?
Love
No,
it.
it's very good.
Thank you, Romy.
Cool. I'm trying to simplify as much as I can, and I thought this would be good. And definitely, if you find this good, we can have a lot more of these chats for sure.
That would be great.
Sweet. If anybody's thinking, well, how do I get set up? What's going on? Is it, you know, like, where do I get started? Let me know. I can try to help you like separately, but it's the idea is opening an account with, if you already have, let's say, with SDOW, if you already have an account with your bank, or if you already have an account with any other financial institution where you have, let's say, the ideal situation, by the way, is if you already have RRSPs, I would strongly recommend the following scenario. I would recommend that we liquidate, as in close all the trades of your RRSP, turn it into cash, and then buy this ETF with it, RRSP. So if you have RRSPs right now, as we go for over like the next week, I would say like maybe tomorrow, the day after, towards the end of the week, it's a good time just to turn it into cash, close it, maximize on this up move in the market, because chances are your RRSPs are going up over the past week and a half. And then take all that money and buy this SDOW. Meanwhile, there's another scenario where you're just brand new and you're starting from scratch. Or if you already have an RRSP account and you want to add more money, I would suggest opening a TFSA, because anything you put into that TFSA right now, and let's say you put $10,000, and over the next 6 months you make $10,000, that entire $10,000 profit is going to be tax-free. And that's also huge in terms of the savings, because you would have had to pay on those you would have had to pay taxes on that $10,000. Please let me know if I should say this slowly or.
I'm sorry, Rami.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that the money that you will put on the TFSA is tax-free.
Yes.
Is this something new?
No, so there's this type of account that.
Okay,
Canada,
I'm so sorry for cutting you off. I just want to clarify that the money that you put on the TFSA, when you put the money in, is not a tax-free. It's the money that you gain. So whatever you gain from your investment through the TFSA is tax-free, but the money that you will put on it, it's already taxed from like the previous year.
Exactly. So maybe I said it incorrectly. So the whole idea is if you have money right now in your bank account that you're ready to invest. So if you have 5,000, 10,000, and you're ready to invest that money, if you take that money, because it's cash in your pocket, so whatever cash in your pocket right now, and then you go open a TFSA account, then whatever profit you make in that account, the profit portion is going to be tax-free.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's kind of the best possible scenario right now, because that's another huge question. What do I do? Do I put in RRSP or do I put in TFSA? Right, and the only reason, like, of course, there's so many debatable topics on this, and I'm not the expert, like I said, but based on my humble opinion, if you are planning to buy a house in maybe 2 years, which by the way might be a good idea because the real estate market is gonna take a hit too, as part of the ripple effect. So in 2-3 years, if you're planning to buy a house or a condo or anything, and you don't have any RRSPs at all, and you want to put some money down so that you can borrow for your first-time home buyer, then this might be the only scenario I would say you can go ahead and put in RRSP, because you can double that money and then take it out and put it into a, your real estate investment. But otherwise, the simplest scenario, which is what I'm doing for, let's say, my family and my friends and everybody else that I know that I'm recommending, is open a TFSA account, put in whatever money you want to invest, and then buy this SDOW and just forget about it.
Rami, that's exactly what my question was going to be. Maybe can you go really quick through the process of how to open the actual trade?
The process of opening this trade itself, it's
like you said, okay, so deposit money into a TFSA, like the real basics of opening a trade.
Oh, so the real basics of opening a trade is you have an account. So let's say, where is it? Let's say we expand this piece.
Like we have a Royal Bank account. You can open a TFSA account and deposit money into it.
Yeah.
And then how do you get that money into an actual trade?
So you get that money into an actual trade by, so let's say you have a TFSA account, then depending on Royal Bank, whatever account you open, it has to be self-directed. So you have the ability, they're gonna provide you with some kind of, let's say buttons here to say buy or sell, right? And then when you click on buy or sell, then you're gonna be able to put in whatever thing that you want to buy or sell, and then you type those words right here, the SDOW. It's very, very easy. Whichever platform you're with, even a simple phone call to their customer service, and they can walk you through exactly. But what do you have to tell them? Is you have to tell them, I want to buy SDOW ETF. That's it. You just say those words and they're gonna walk you through it. But depending, if let's say you're, like if you're with, with RBC, or if you're with TD, or if you're with even Questrade, all of them are gonna be very different. But when you do buy it, what you're trying to place is something called a limit order. You don't just want to go and buy it today at just whatever it is today. So when you're saying the process, I open an account, I transfer the money, and now my account has money in it, and now I'm ready to buy. So then where do I buy at? Right? So right now today, it's at 41.44. I have some friends today, a whole bunch of friends, and that's what inspired me to actually make this session today, because I couldn't keep up with the phone calls. And so many people, and they want to buy because I told them that we should buy somewhere between 40 to 45, but the magic number I'm waiting for was 25,000 in the Dow. We didn't get there. So as long as we didn't get to 25,000, then I think the SDOW has room to go lower. However, my friends, based on, they're like, hey, I don't think so. I'm not sure if we're going to get there. So yeah, so, based on my friends today who wanted to buy, then that's okay. Go ahead and buy. So if you want to buy at a certain number, so today someone wanted to buy at 45. So we placed, it's called a limit order. So you put it in the market and just leave it. And when you come to buy it, you make sure it has the kind of, maybe if everybody can take those down, buy a limit order of SDOW ETF and make it GTC, which stands for good till cancel. That's the type of action you want to take when you're ready to buy. So when you have an account, it has money in it, or we transferred the money, and now you're ready to buy, then you say, let's say you have in it, I don't know, let's say you transfer $10,000 Canadian, right? Those $10,000, in order to buy SDOW, it has to be transferred to US. So I don't know what that is in US. What is it right now? Like 70 cents or something? Let's say that's $7,000.
Call it eight.
$8,000 US. So then let's say it's gonna have $8,000 US. Then you say, okay, how much money how many shares of this SDOW ETF can I buy with $8,000 US? So then I go to my calculator and I say, okay, $8,000, and I'm trying to buy it at $45. So I can buy 177 shares. So now, if you had $10,000 Canadian, which equate to, let's say, 8,000 US dollars, and you wanted to buy at, let's say, make it easy, $40 of SDOW ETF. So then we say 8,000 divided by 40. It's going to give me 200 shares. That's 8,000 divided by 40, which equals 200 shares of SDOW ETF. Does anybody have any questions about what we just did? I'd be more than happy to go through it slower.
Yes, Rami, which stands for good till cancel means?
Good till cancel means when you actually place the order in the market, it's gonna stay there until you cancel it. So right now, the SDOW is 41.44. That's right this moment, right? So if tomorrow I place an order at 40, right? Let's say it doesn't get to 40 tomorrow. Let's say it decides to go to 45 or goes to 50, and I'm so upset now because I think I missed it. But my order at 40 is gonna stay there until I cancel it. It's gonna be good until it's canceled. That's what good to cancel. So whoever's, let's say, because I'm just saying that because if someone's going to call their TD Bank or BMO or Royal and try to have them kind of like walk them through, some of the terminology that's used is this. What type of order? And it's called a buy limit. How much? Like I would say, let's say, I don't know, right now we're 41. I'm saying, let's say we're going to go for 40. And then they might ask you this thing about, well, how long do you want this order to stay for? And then they keep it GTC, which means good until, I don't know why they call it T, but okay. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you, Ram.
No problem. I think, Mike, you asked earlier about the process. How do you feel about the process overall at this point?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I think maybe the only piece is, so when you open an account with Questrade, or someone was saying, well, it's simple or whatever, there's an option to open a TFSA account there.
Yes. So there's an option. There's an option to open either a TFSA account, an RRSP account, a regular trading account. All those three options are there. So,
and then basically, depending on how far you are in your limit of TFSA, you just have to transfer money from whatever you do have to that account.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Rami, do you think it's a good idea to set up a general trading then, and then move the money back and forth between your bank and Questrade or whatever platform you're on?
So why would you set up a general trading account if you can open a tax-free one? That's my question to you.
Because you have a tax-free that may be set up in the bank. So you're
You
gonna
can-
have to. You're gonna have to.
I would suggest just use one. Decide where you want to use it and just stick with that.
Well, no, I guess I know what Mina said. You can have multiple ones, but as long as they don't all add up to your lifetime maximum or whatever it is.
So once you max them out, what do you do? Do you just switch to the general trading, or you what? Because I was talking to someone today about this, and we didn't figure out the answer. So let's say your max is 30K. You put 5. Well done. You got the 30K, and you're at the upper limit. Now you want to keep on trading. What are you going to do after that?
Yeah, you can only trade with whatever you have in your TFSA, but it could be more than what a typical lifetime limit is if you made a lot of money in the past, for example.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Can I just say something, guys? So the limit of the contribution for the TFSA depends on how long have you been in Canada, because this program started on the 2009. So it depends on how long have you been here since 2009. And each year there was different contribution. But you can contribute, I don't know how to say this in English, but يعني بأثر رجعي. So if you didn't contribute since 2009, you still can contribute from 2009. For example, if the limit contribution was $5,000 a year, and then now it's what? It's 11 years. So you can contribute for each year $5,000. So $55,000 for the past 11 years if you haven't contributed any.
I think it's actually a little bit higher. I think it's around 63,000, given that you were of at least of the age of 19 and you've been in Canada since 2009. Because there's a couple years where it went up from 5,000 to 500. I think there was 1 year where it's 10,000.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think it's around 63,000. So once you've maxed that 63,000, you can't contribute to your tax-free savings account. You just have to open a separate investment account.
That's absolutely accurate. Yeah.
That's my question. So once you max out your TFSA and you know that you max it out, you just go on a general trading, or you go on your RSP and use that then.
Yeah, and I don't know how accurate this is, Mina, but my bank told me like there's huge penalties if you, because the government knows how much you've invested into it. So there's huge penalties if you add more than you're supposed to. Also, it's kind of tricky if you've invested money in the past or you had ongoing investments into your tax-free savings account, because you have to count what you've actually put in and not what the
profit
gains
is.
are. Yeah. You can't account for the gains. Those are separate from what you've contributed. I mean, not
so
that
whatever I contribute is what's counted for the maximum, but whatever those makes of profit, that's not counted, and
correct.
it can go to a surplus. So I don't really care. Okay,
Yeah, not that anybody is really balling right now, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm just understanding that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have,
sorry,
go ahead, Monica.
No, I was just saying. So I think it's around 63,000 right now, or 63.5.
So let's talk an actual example. If you do have $100,000 that you want to trade, then the maximum you would have would be 63 in your TFSA, and then you would have 37 in your regular trading account, and whatever profit you make on your TFSA will be non-taxable, and whatever profit you make on your regular trading account, you will get taxed on it as a capital gain, which means you're going to pay taxes regularly on half of whatever profit you make.
Okay.
And obviously you pay taxes based on your income level, right? So if you're making $100,000 a year, you're paying roughly 48% taxes. You're going to pay 40% taxes on that gain.
It's 50. It's 50.
50% of that gain. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Actually, 52% at times. But Mina, so basically the point is, like, I think to summarize it, if you have never contributed and you've been in Canada, whatever, you can contribute up to your maximum, and that's all you're allowed to invest as a tax-free savings. And if you wanted to invest more than what your maximum is and you don't have those gains in the tax-free account, you can't, or else you'll just have to open two trades. Like you'll have the tax-free trade, or you'll have the general trade.
Okay, and just to comment on that, so let's say you put 5, you make it up to the 10. You can put the 10 and reinvest them again and make on top of profit again.
Yes.
Is that
only
okay,
the contribution? Like you've only used 5 of your contribution, even though now you can actually invest 10 in your account.
Yeah, because of the profit.
Right.
Okay, makes sense.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would just like to add something else regarding the taxing or the taxation. So if you are considered as a day trader, you will not get the advantage of the taxes on the capital gain. So as Monica said, that you will be taxed on just 50% of your gains from trading on the stock market. But if the government consider you as a day trader, you will be gained on 100% as a regular income.
Yeah. So I think for if you want to take exact advice, definitely reach out to an accountant. But for most people, and like you said about the day trading, so someone earlier asked, am I suggesting we do not do the magic word of diversify and put all our eggs in one basket right now and just leave it there? In my humble opinion, yes, because I believe the entire market is about to crash. There's actually nothing. Whatever it is you pick, you just throw a dart, it's gonna fall. There's nothing. Let me put it this way, right? We saw what happened from mid-February to mid-March. Everything dropped. Can we think of anything that went up? It's very hard. Maybe there are some stocks that went up. Maybe there are some stocks that didn't lose as much. But it's very, very hard. When you think of the market as a whole at this crazy time we're in, then you're looking at major things like gold, oil, dollar, S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, like what is going on as a market, in the whole market. And as the whole market, You know what? Overall, I think gold's gonna go up, but where to buy exactly? I like gold to, I'm waiting for gold to come a lot lower. Very hard to decide to buy gold right now. Oil, very tricky right now. So there is a whole bunch of stuff that's much more complicated. The currencies, there's so many things. And that's why, like, for this specific piece right here today, I just wanted to make it simple, and I just wanted to drive a few points home so that we're not kind of, where are we? Because what you do here from a lot of financial institutions is, you know what, just buy and hold. Well, the market always goes up, right? So let's talk about this whole market always goes up. This is the Dow. And if we go max, yes, if you look from left to right, it's going up, right? But let's say you were here in 2007 and the Dow was 14,000 at this point. And let's say you had the opportunity to make money on the way down or not lose money. For somebody who just held it and waited for the long run, they saw their money go from 14,000 to, where did it go? Like 7,000. They lost half of their entire portfolio, gone. And all I'm trying to say is we're exactly in this age right now. You know, as it dropped from 2007 till 2010 or 2009 here, I can't remember. These 2 years, 3 years, we're about to start these 2 or 3 years. So this drop here is not the end. It's just the beginning. There's going to be something like this, and it's going to keep going. And as it keeps going, it's probably going to end up somewhere here. Maybe around 12,000, maybe 13, maybe 14. So why should you watch all your savings disappear? So that's one thing. If you're invested right now, I'm just saying, think about closing your investments on an up move. So as we right now finally had an up move over the past month, like 3 weeks or so. What is it? 2 weeks? So this is potentially a small up move that we can capitalize on to close our investments with a lot less of a hit. Because over the next, I don't know, year, two, I don't know what the ripple effect is going to be. I have my own thoughts. I think we're going to keep going down for maybe 2 years, 3 years. I think it's going to stop somewhere between 12,000 to 14,000 in the Dow, which is like disaster for many people. I have my own thoughts about even it might break that. Because once again, we're standing on a house of cards. We're not helping anybody. We're just printing money, and printing money ends up making somehow its way to the rich people, so that the rich will continue to get richer and the poor will continue to get poorer. And as I just illustrated earlier, if you're somebody who graduated in the year 2000 versus somebody who graduated in the year 2020, you're 10 times poorer in the year 2020 than somebody who graduated in the year 2000. Because we just keep printing money.
No, Rami, I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
So right now we discussed buying the SDOW because it's going to go low. Then when the crash happens and the Dow goes down, we're going to sell it because it's going to go high. Now, my other question is, should we consider the same thing for the Dow? So once we sell the SDOW at its high, we should go and buy the Dow at its low and wait for the market to come up for a number of years, as we were talking, maybe 2 to 3, 4, whatever times the gain.
So yes. So right now, as we buy the SDOW when it's low and we wait for it. So let's say right now, this is going to make another crash and it's going to go lower. Let's say it might hit 17 or 18 again in the Dow, which means this is going to go up to maybe like 90 again. You're saying, is this a good time to buy the Dow itself, right?
Yes. So you sell the SDOW and you buy the Dow instead.
because like right now, okay, so let's say this drops. Right now we're at 22. I'm thinking maybe throughout the rest of the week, we might see 25, hopefully maybe this week or maybe next week. If we go to 25, it might even surprise us and go to 26. And that's somewhere there, 25, let's say. And then finally it goes down to, let's say, it goes down and goes to 17, right?
Yep.
Would this be a good time to buy? Of course it's a good time to buy. But is this the time I would buy and hold forever? Personally, no. If it goes to, let's say, 17,000 in the Dow or 18,000 again, I might buy it and then kind of watch it go up to maybe 20,000. Because ultimately, I believe it's going to go to 14.
So you mean you want to sell it on the fake ups?
Exactly. Because I'm a person who thinks the market is in a crashing mode. So I always want to wait on the fake up move and then sell it on the fake up move.
So you're basically going to make money based on the transition, not only on the average market price.
What does that mean? Say that again.
So you're going to make the money based on the transition from the 14,000 going up to the 20. You sell it there, then you wait for it to crash again, and you keep doing that transition rather than buying it and waiting it to jump to the 30.
And the only time I think I'm going to start buying or think about buying would be here, when it reaches this. When it reaches the high that it hit before it crashed in 2007, which is, let's say, 14,000.
And you think it's going to go that low?
Personally, I do. Once again, this is just wrong. Like, that doesn't mean anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts. But like, that's like more longer term stuff. I'm trying to share some short term things that you can do right now, which is from where we are. If the trend is to go down, and right now we are experiencing a little bit of an up move, then here's your chance to go and you say, like, the trend is your friend. You know, here's a chance to ride the trend down and take it as it goes from here and goes down. Same thing here. This SDOW is going to go from a lower number and start making its way up again. And that's why I'm saying these opportunities, this is a very, very special opportunity that's available. And I would personally not diversify because I wouldn't know when to, like, I would have to wait for a better entry for gold. I would have to better entry for a whole bunch of stuff. And for the average investor, like somebody who doesn't know much, I'm not sure what else they can do other than this one. Somebody was asking about my background in investing. It's a very painful story of how I got here. But so a little bit of background. My background is in computer engineering. And when I first graduated, I was one of those people that worked for Rogers. And Rogers was turning everything that they own into websites. So Rogers has a magazine called Money Sense. And how I got into trading was I built moneysense.ca at the time for Rogers, which is kind of like a Bloomberg website. And I slowly started to trade. I got into stocks, and I lost a lot of money in stocks. And then later on got into currencies and lost a lot of money in currencies. And I got into automated trading. So I was able to build a software that will automatically trade for me, and lost a lot of money in that too. But overall, kind of like very, very, very summary, what did work for me, and the only thing I know, is the art of technical analysis, which is reading the chart and based on the chart, being able to predict where it's going to go. So I am not paying too much attention to the fundamental analysis, as in what is actually happening, what kind of deal took place between Russia and the US, what is going on behind the scenes. With technical analysis, there's a lot you can tell, not from this chart that we're looking at. This is what's called like a naked chart. There's no analysis on this chart, right? So somebody wants to see, so I'll show you very quickly. This is the Dow. This is the chart of the Dow as it's kind of like, you know, going up, up, up before it goes down. This is a naked chart of the Dow, means there's no analysis on it. This is the chart I'm using for the Dow. I didn't want to show this because it's going to confuse the hell out of everybody. This is another chart I'm using for the Dow. So for example, some of the things that tells me that the market is about to crash is something like this, where you see the price here went up, went down, went up and made a higher high. But there's this indicator that as it went up here, this green part shows, let's say, the strength of this up move. But then the strength of this second up move had a much lower, like it wasn't as strong. So this is what we call a divergence. The price kept going up while the strength kept going down. That's an indication of the market about to go down. And if we keep going from here, that's exactly what happened. That's what technical analysis is. That's my background. That's the expertise I'm able to kind of, you know, that's the only thing that I'm able to use to help me understand and open my eyes to what's going on. Does that help?
And Rami, any other books other than the one you suggested, or do you have it like maybe a digital copy or something?
I don't have a digital copy. I strongly recommend grabbing one from Amazon. I think it's, Mikey, did you get it? Like, you know how much it is right now?
Yeah, I just found it, but it's out of stock, so that's why. Or they don't deliver it, I'm not sure.
Really?
I'm trying to open an account on Questrade.
Never mind, they have it now into stock. But it's the delivery time is a month.
How much is it?
It's for the paperback, it's $113.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Kindle.
I thought it was
So
like
yeah,
50 bucks or something. But you could start by doing some technical analysis tutorials, right? It's just this book has everything. Like, you know, it teaches you stuff like this, which is divergence. It teaches you things like, you know, certain patterns in the market. So for example, this, where is the, I'm gonna try to find something like just little technical analysis background. This is a chart of the pound yen. So if we see, this made a down move here. So it kept going down, 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 down. And then there was this pattern here, which is called a head and shoulder. This is an indication that of a reversal. So this is a shoulder, this is a head, and this is the other shoulder. And so this combination here means it's a head and shoulder. What does that mean? It means it's about to go up from here. And how far is it going to go up? It's going to go up the distance from here to here. So if we take a look, this here was like what, 132.50, and here it's like 133.50. So that's 100 points between here and here. How far is it going to go up? Another 100 points, which is 134.50. So if you go up, 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 where did it stop? Does everybody see that number? On the right side, it says 134.50. It went up exactly 100 points before it dropped again. It's magic. And that's the beautiful thing about technical analysis. I don't need to know, if I'm looking at the pound yen, what did Asia do? What did Japan do? What did, did the prime minister get sick? He got admitted to the hospital. I didn't need to care about any of that stuff. All I know is this is a good place to buy and this is a good place to sell. That's it. I didn't intend for this to go on this long, but I'm here till whatever you guys want to say. Let's call it quit.
I have a quick question, Rami.
Sure.
Does it usually work like that? Like, when you take all your decisions on selling or buying based on those analysis, like the technical analysis, does it usually work the way that you want or the way that you were expecting?
Of course, nothing in life is 100%.
Okay.
But based on a lot of analysis, like let's say here in this one, it went up, and I believe so. There's this thing here, it's called the Fibonacci retracement. So this number here coincides with a lot of stuff. So does it usually work? Yes, to a certain degree, but that comes with insane amount of experience, and you get to feel it. They're like certain things, each thing that you trade. So let's say I'm looking at the pound yen or the SDOW or the Dow. The simplest way I can put it is think of them as people. Each one of them has a personality. And each one of them, you get to know their personality, and you get to know what works. You get to know how far you can push them, when do they get to pull back, and you get to build that relationship over time. I know this sounds crazy, but that's the thing. You get to really know them, and that's why it's a little bit harder, and it takes many, 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 many years to become an expert in order to be able to trade so many different things.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other comments, questions? Are we good for today? And maybe we can try to reconvene another time. And
I think you should schedule one, like say I'm going to be online again on this date, on this time. This is actually very, very useful. Thank you so much.
No problem. So if you guys...
Yeah, thank you so much, Rami. We really appreciate it.
This was amazing.
You're very welcome. I'm so glad that we have this kind of feedback. I'm so glad this is helpful. But
yeah, thank you so much, Rami.
The main
we truly
reason
appreciate that.
No problem. The main reason I scheduled it today is also timing. I wanted everybody to see this before it happens. I didn't just want to come and say, hey guys, I'm able to predict the market. Forget that. I just want everybody to actually benefit. So really think about what we talked about today. If you have questions, let me know. I really want people to try to benefit of this insane time we're in. If you have questions about opening an account, let me know. If you have questions about anything we talked about, let me know. Sounds good?
Yeah, perfect. Because we need some information about how to register a new account or something like that. Because for me already, I'm from scratch for this stock market.
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you, Rami. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Rami. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You as
Thanks,
well.
Rami.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too, Rami. Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night, man.